I put down a lot of notes. This is important for all you out there that have some concerns, some questions, some things that you want to get worked out in your mind before we get this UCPL going. So here's some of the things I put down. I want to get your thoughts. And you could tweet me at 4Totera, 4Totera. Our crew back there of Scott and Andrew will cut this up later on tonight or tomorrow, and we'll post it up. But here's something to chew on. If the team roster size was 25, let's say, how many of those slots should be saved for Canadian-born players? You know what my answer is going to be. I would say each and every one of them. But realistically, what would your answer be? How many of that 25 roster size should be saved for Canadian-born players? How many Canadian-born players should be in the starting lineup for each game? For me, you know what the answer is again, so it's an easy answer for me. So I'm going to exclude myself, but I want to know from you out there. But for me, it's an easy answer. I would make each and every one of them a starter. Absolutely I would. How many Canadian-born players under 23 years of age should be in the starting lineup for each game as well? That's a one that is hard to digest for me and for some of the diehards out there, because again, I want space for the Canadian player, whether he's under 23, over 23, even a little bit over 30. I don't care. I want the space and the roster spot for a Canadian. Should all head or assistant coaches be Canadian? Without a doubt. This is the easiest decision of them all, for me anyway. 100% the easiest decision. Because if you go with an 8-team league, a 10-team league, you can easily fill it up with Canadian coaches. Absolutely, the ones that are out there right now that are qualified, that should be put on that bench 100%, without a doubt. All Canadian coaches, head coaches and assistants, that to me is a slam dunk, no problem at all. What should the minimum or maximum player salary be? Interesting, huh? What should that be? I'll tell you a quick little story before we get to Leo. Back in the days when I worked with the Canadian Soccer League, our highest paid player, out of respect, I won't name who it is because I remember doing the contract, was paid, he was a defender. There, I'll let a little bit out of the bag there. He was a defender, paid $25,000 in 1991, plus a car, plus an apartment. 25 plus a car, plus an apartment. Pretty good. I got to tell you, pretty good back in those days, because they could actually work all winter long. They could, go to school if they were going to school. So pretty good. Now, next, should CPL clubs be required to have a youth academy? This is loaded in many ways, and it costs a ton of money to have academies. At what point should CPL clubs be required to have a female soccer program? There, I'm not wanting to get that going right away, right off the bat. I would leave that a little bit down the process once we cement, the men's division and get that going and off the ground. I would wait, for me anyway, 5 years minimum. At least 5 years, and then we can start to discuss that. Now, I made some other points up as well. This one is important. Let's talk about the question out there, solidarity and the payment and how it's going to flow. How is it best, how can we best look at this, player solidarity payments? Now, let's take an example that I put down. A player who grew up in, let's say, for example, Hamilton, and played for Hamilton Sparta. I think that's a club in Hamilton. If I'm not mistaken, I recall they are a club, and a club that's been around many, many years. So let's take a player that grew up in Hamilton and played for Hamilton Sparta as a youth. Then he attended, let's say, the local university there, McMaster, and played in the CAS. He was eventually drafted by, let's say, Hamilton FC. How much solidarity payment should be given, if any, or to whom? Boom. That's a good one. I'll pat myself on the back and say that's a good one. I'm not only the guy here that talks the talk, but I also like to write the right. So there you go. Another one. This one might ruffle some feathers out in York region. So a player grows up in Woodbridge and plays for Woodbridge OPDL team as a youth. He does not go to post-secondary education, but gets drafted by the Ottawa Fury. How much solidarity payment should be given, if any, and to whom? I shouldn't even have put Ottawa. I could have picked Edmonton, maybe whoever. But how much should they be given, and to whom again? Interesting stuff. Now, this one is one that I was a little bit hesitant to to bring up, but let's do it. A player who plays for Toronto FC Academy since he was, let's say, I don't know, 12 or 13 roughly, and played most recently for a club in League One, okay? The UCPL club, let's take one out there, let's say it'll be Edmonton, wants him on their roster. How much solidarity payment should be given again, and if any, and to whom again? There you go. Then, the last little tidbits I put in here, I'm going to throw it out before we get to Leo's this. To me, look, I'm sure that, you know, once the news gets completed and done and it's 100% concrete and we're ready to kick off in the UCPL, solidarity payments are going to be something that a lot of people are going to want the answer to right away. To me, look, whether you're Vaughan Azzurri, whether you're Woodbridge Strikers, whether you're a Hamilton Sparta, whether you're a Thunder Bay Chill player in the youth system there, whether you're fill in the blank all over Canada, you've got to think to yourself, you know what, I'd love for that player in my youth club or academy to be moving up the ladder to go and play for an Edmonton FC, a Hamilton FC, a Vaughan FC, whatever, Laval FC, Victoria FC, whatever. Pick your city, Calgary FC, Winnipeg FC. I think this is important that they move up the ladder. The technical directors, the academy directors continuously let them focus on these clubs now that are in their community, in their city or close by, for them to aspire to play for them. And then I think it's the responsibilities of these pro clubs to make sure they funnel some payment back down to these youth clubs and academies. Because, hey, let's be honest out there. Have the Montreal Impact done that? Have Toronto FC done that? Have the Vancouver Whitecaps done that? I'll let you answer it. But to me, with this new CPL, they absolutely better, give whatever that sum of money is agreed to that youth club or academy, or else I'm absolutely going to lose it. That is not fair. That youth club, that academy put a lot of time, effort, a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that player. They need to be respected and paid, a decent amount for all that time that was spent with that player. So just some things that I jotted down for you to chew on. Love to get some feedback at Totera. Our producer, Scott, and also Andrew will cut up this segment. I'll tweet it out tomorrow, and hopefully we can get some more thoughts and feedback on that I decided to talk about tonight.